please. Alright, can you state your name for me? Is your given name Stephen Grant Parten? When you came into the jail yesterday, what name did you give?
I did not give a name. And I have nothing else to say to you because you're not my friend.
Mr. Parten, I'm Judge Malone, and what we're here for today is your bond hearing, and all I'm going to be doing today is explaining what your charges are, what the penalty is, and telling you what your rights are. Okay, that's all that's going to be done today. Today is not your trial.
My friends call me Jesus. Jesus Christ.
Well, I know you as Mr. Parten. Okay, this is your picture. This is your information that was given to the jail when you came in, and that's what we're going to go with. Okay?
I have nothing else to say.
Okay, you don't have to say a word. You just need to listen. Mr. Parten, you've been charged with grand larceny, more than $10,000. This carries up to 10 years in jail. You've also been charged with burglary first degree. This carries anywhere from 15 years up to life in prison. You've also been charged with murder. This carries a mandatory minimum term of imprisonment of 30 years to life. You've also been charged with attempted murder. This carries up to 30 years. And you've been charged with possession of a weapon during a violent crime. This carries up to 5 years. Now, on all of your charges, you have a right to ask for a jury trial, or you can plead guilty. You also have a right to an attorney. You need to get an attorney. These are very serious charges. You need an attorney. If you can't afford one, you can get the public defender, but you will need representation. And you also have a right to a preliminary hearing. You know what a preliminary hearing is? Let me explain it to you, just in case you don't. Mr. Parten, a preliminary hearing, you have 10 days to request a preliminary. You're going to get a form for that with your paperwork this morning. A preliminary hearing is a hearing in front of a magistrate. The only person who testifies at that hearing is the officer. And the officer has to show probable cause for your arrest. Your attorney will be able to question the officer, cross-examine him to find out what kind of evidence he has against you. If the officer cannot show probable cause, your case or cases could be dismissed at this hearing. If the officer does show probable cause, then your cases will be sent up to the grand jury. They'll be indicted, and that just means that the solicitor can call your cases to trial. A preliminary hearing doesn't hurt you in any way. If you want one, all you do is sign your name to the form. And when you get that, you can sign that form down here and give it to one of the officers, and they can turn it in for you. But you only have 10 days to get that form in. Now, Mr. Parten, as part of your bond, I don't want you to have any contact with the victims or the victim's family in these cases. No contact whatsoever. I cannot set a bond for you on a murder charge. A higher judge has to do that. At this time, you're not going to have a bond on any of your charges. It doesn't mean you might not get one at a later time. Your attorney can request a bond hearing for you in General Sessions Court, where you would go before a circuit court judge at a later time, and that judge will determine whether or not you get a bond. But at this time, you're not going to have a bond. Do you have any questions about anything? Okay. Are you willing to sign your paperwork? No.